September the 11th, 2019. Guys, I want to look at the 2-day and the 5-day forecast from the Hurricane Center, but this is the 2-day, notice at the top. Now, this storm that we're looking at, disturbance number 1, has a 50% chance of formation within 48 hours. Now, our other two storms that are in the Atlantic, both disturbance 2 and disturbance number 3, have a 0 chance of development within 48 hours. But everything changes if we go to our 5-day forecast. And first, and most important, we got a 70% chance of cyclone formation in the next 5 days. What this is telling us, in 48 hours, we got a 50% chance as it approaches the Florida and the Florida Straits. After that, we're going to go to a 70% chance, but this thing is going to probably change by daylight tonight, or in the morning, excuse me. Now, back here, what we've got is, in a video 3 or 4 days ago, I said, guys, this storm that came off of Africa is going to overtake this disturbance, number 2, about the time it gets to the Windward Islands. And it looks like it may do it before there, but now this storm has a 40% chance of development within 5 days. The tropical wave located between the west coast of Africa and the Cabo Verde Islands is forecast to move quickly westward during the next several days. Some development is possible over the weekend or early next week while the system moves over the tropical Atlantic. Again, it's moving quickly westward, and it's going to overtake this storm. That's what we're going to see develop and come in here and to the Caribbean about the time that disturbance number 1 is moving up and out of our area. But we have to pay very close attention to this storm first. This is the latest update on the tracking. Notice it's 10:30 p.m. tonight, and not a lot has changed except the 2 tracks that we were getting that was coming up through the Mississippi and Alabama line and 1 over New Orleans. Now there's 4 that are focusing on this part right here of the Florida Peninsula, so we're going to have to pay very close attention to it. We've got a couple that bring it up the East Coast, very close to the track of Dorian, as a matter of fact. And we have 1 track that comes down just south of Miami, south of the Keys, and then suddenly moves northward into Miami. And we've seen this hard right turn in these storms before, guys, so don't don't forget about this one yet. And we've seen the same thing happen in the Gulf of Mexico. Storms coming in, predicted it to hit here. And as the outer bands touch the land surface, the storm suddenly turns to the right. So we'll watch this. These will change over the next few days. Just a quick look at the Canadian model, guys. Let this play back over. What you're looking at the south tip of Florida is the storm that's going to catch up with number 2. And first, we see the system enter the Gulf and go up through the Florida Peninsula the way those 4 models showed it. But now between Cuba and Florida on September the 20th, we have a stronger storm setting there. We don't know where it's going to go past that point. And we have another one back in the Atlantic and 1 trying to form off the African coast. So until we get this backloaded system past us, it looks like it's going to be kind of rapid fire. And looking at the infrared satellite images from tonight, guys, you can see in the bottom right, this disturbance number 1 is wrapping up. Look at the size of the thunderstorms that are trying to wrap around the center of circulation, and you'll see what I'm concerned about. Low pressure is still setting over Mississippi and Alabama, and that will decide eventually where the storm goes. But it is the size that is concerning. It's larger in the actual scale now than Dorian was. Dorian was very powerful, tightly wrapped. The storm is going to be increasing each hour in strength between now and the time it makes landfall. You're dealing with a 70% chance now. By morning, that could be 80 or 90, and then it's going to be getting closer and closer to the Florida Straits. But guys, we're watching it. You watch it. It's a heads up. Be safe.